So anyway, I'm very happy to be here. I forgot my army's around a couple, 3, 4. They've turned up, so that's okay. I'd like us also to just take a moment to recognize the issues that's going on in Europe. So our brothers and sisters are out in East Europe, and just to recognize that they're going through a difficult moment. So I've never done a talk like this before. I talk a lot. I mean, I can't remember who was talking about. I think it was Alicia that was talking about doing sort of running sort of at 100 miles an hour. I do the same, but when I get to public talk, I stop myself. I just don't know what to say. And that also leads to an imposter syndrome. And back to what Christina was also saying, is also about that sort of like authenticity. If I don't feel authentic, I don't talk. I just don't do it. But I feel very safe. Like today, for some reason, I kind of felt it was going to be like a very strange place to be in. But I really feel like I'm part of family today. It is bizarre. I've never had a talk at a conference, nothing. I could, you know, it's just, I'm really enjoying it. And I didn't have enough time to prep up because I've been up in Aberdeen. I live in the southeast of England. And I was working there, been in all week and had to prep up last week. So I didn't have enough time to do anything. I never do slides, but I didn't even prep at all. And I'm like, hang on a minute, it's 10 minutes. How do I know what I'm going to be talking about? So I'm talking today about talent diversification in an organization and how that has an impact on humanity, which is what this talk is about. I was drunk one night when this thing came up. And it's like, oh, that sounds interesting about humanity. I'm just going, I'd like to have a talk about this, something. I'm passionate about all sorts of stuff. Okay, I've got something to say, but I'm not sure what just yet. So I applied for it. I put it up on LinkedIn, and some of my mates went, yay, go for it. And hence, here I am. But I didn't prep at all for it, and I haven't. And then today, I got back from Aberdeen last night about 10 o'clock. And so I tapped my mate up. I said, look, mate, I've got things to say, you know me. He's the one that spent the weekend I was talking about. Yeah, a few months ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago. And I told him about my 10-minute thing I was going to talk about. And he went, Matthew, that's just way too much content. Slow down. You're too fast, unconfusing. Oh, okay. So I got feedback from him. And he said, oh, tell me why you want to talk about it. Why do you want to talk about this particular subject matter? And he went, I told him what it was. And he went, Matthew, just tell your story. Tell your story. It's 10 minutes. You can't fit anything. You could talk about this for like a whole conference or 2-day conference. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Anyway, I took his feedback, calmed down, had dinner, cooked for my little girl, and here I am. My subject matter is about talent diversification. And the reason I chose this is very important to me, and I'll tell you my story. We got this sort of shortage in the industry. So every month or every quarter, a McKinsey or someone comes up to say, oh, it's growing and growing. We can't find talent. I'm like, hang on a minute. Why can't we find talent? What's the problem? The issue, I find out, is the decisions that were made before us. A lot of feedback loop is coming back to bite us. But we can fix that. But no one talks about that fix. No one actually wants to actively engage in what that fix is or what the problem is. If you don't acknowledge the problem, you can't fix it. So I'll tell you about myself, my story. I trained as an architect, not as a software engineer, a building architect, a real architect as we call it. through architects. And then I finished, I went through it. I was like, but this isn't for me. I was like, well, I'd rather do something else. And back in the 90s, I know I don't look that old. Back in the 90s, apart from the grays that you can see from your cameras, I would do something else. This is what the bars, it was all kind of like growing something, building something. It seems a little bit like architecture to me. Building blocks, Lego, whatever you want to call it. Dependencies, all that fancy, nice business. I'm like, oh, I'll give that a go. I was self-taught. I started the software engineering. And I did for a year. I absolutely loved it. And I felt like I had all the ammunition that I needed. Turned up of doors and everything. I was like, no, you haven't got any experience. Not today. Try next door. So I tried next door, nothing else. I tried next door, nothing else. But we're complaining about not having enough talent. I had the attitude. I was enthusiastic. But what happens in the industry? We kill aspirations. We don't even inspire people, let alone support aspirations. But I was lucky. I met someone that completely changed my life. But I'm not going to go to the software bit. I want the agile bit. I've worked in the agile world for about 12 years now. And the only reason I'm here today is someone gave me a chance. Someone went, oh, I don't have to struggle. I've seen someone that can do something for me, that can bring something to the table. I can't remember, someone had a talk earlier about bringing something to the table. And I've worked with this chap in 5 different organizations. He's taken me through 5. When he moves organizations, he's brought me along, not because I'm special, but what that's done, I gave him loyalty. He invested in me. When you invest in people, you get not just 10-fold return, you get exponential return. But we don't really realize that. We think, oh my God, you have to have this, you have to come from a certain school, you have to have a certain degree, you don't need that. You can cross-pollinate. So I'm not quite sure how much time I've got left, because my story I could talk about myself forever, but I'm not really talking about myself. I'm talking about a narrative here that we all do. I put a poll out earlier, and not much people sort of responded to it. I think I got 4 responses to it. It was about, are you a hiring manager or are you not? And if you are, you guys are absolutely key to changing the world. It has an impact on your organization when you do that. What can you do? You mentor people. You create programs that mentor people. You create programs that cross-pollinate, cross-train people within the organization or outside the organization, or even outside the industry. If someone has a will to do something, we've got to support it, build it, help them grow, plant the seeds, nurture it. And I think that's what we're doing slightly wrong. We've got hundreds of thousands of vacancies. There's no need for that. We can make a difference. You can give people opportunities. You can include people outside your sector, outside your norm. Our mental models should start expanding a little bit, that what you do today has an impact tomorrow. What you do today, you call yourself an angel. I still call this person in my life an angel. But it's not just for himself or for me. I can pay my mortgage. I can take my daughter to Paris tomorrow, and the same thing, she could do that tomorrow with the next generation to come. Somebody mentioned earlier about the people that came before them. And this is what we have to do to support humanity. The reason I chose this conference to have my first ever talk was about humanity. So it's not just about the practice and all that. It's about helping society and humanity. I know I've only got 30 seconds. I do apologize. Yeah, but we need to foster that practice, that program. Anyway, you hiring managers and leaders out there, you are the key to make a difference. We all hiring managers, potential, we're part of the interview processes. We can make that call. And that's why I decided to give this talk. Thank you very much. I'm Matthew Ijogi, by the way. On LinkedIn, you can always find me. We can have more talks about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm going to say you smashed it, Matthew. That was awesome.
Oh, I'd prefer to go first, you know, like when you go first, it's harder, but you could chill and enjoy
No,
it.
you smashed it. You spoke from the heart and you're speaking about things that happen. They are gatekeepers. They are gatekeepers in organizations and they're going, we don't have enough people, but there are lots of people out there. There are lots of talented people and you have to give people opportunities. I've been in rooms where people go, oh, we don't have enough people and we don't really know who we can hire. And I'm like, there are tons of people out there talented, but you're looking at the same pool all the time. You're extending yourself to the same pool of people. And yeah, you smashed it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
You know, I mean, I'd just like to say, you know, that's why Agile for Humanity exists. So it could create space for those of us who don't get the opportunity to speak at the bigger conferences or some of the other conferences that we have, that it opens and creates space for other people, right, to be able to speak and share your thoughts and all of your goodness. So thank you for making this space your first to share your story. Love it. Love it.
Oh, thank you for having me, to be honest. I'm really chuffed being here.